Run, run, run as fast as you can. I'm gonna catch you, 'cause I'm the Gingerdead Man. Alright, so I am using snow text for this project. Usually I use it to make fun snowy scenes, but I figured out that if you tint it, you can use it to make lots of other textures. I thought the texture would be good to create like a gingerbread cookie kind of finish, since it's, a little bumpy, kind of like a cookie would be. So just add your brown paint to the snow text. And I found that it does tend to dry a little bit lighter. So the first one I made ended up looking like a light flesh color, which, kind of helped with the creepy factor. So I had downloaded a Gingerbread Man shape from the internet, and I traced it onto cardboard and cut that out. And so the first thing I had to do was cover up the sides, like you see that corrugated cardboard edge there. I didn't want that showing, so I just I call it icing, ice the edges. And then once that was done, I could lay my Gingerdead Man down on my work surface and just start spreading out the tinted texture. It's just kind of like the way you ice a cake. I'm not really good at icing cakes, but since this guy is going to be kind of funky looking anyway, you don't have to make it super perfect. You just want it to be even. Since that is cardboard that you're using in the back, you want to be careful not to put too much, because if you use a lot, it takes longer to dry, and then the more wet it is, the cardboard can warp a little bit, and then you'll get some crackling in your texture, and you don't want that. So just keep filling it in, smoothing it out until you get the texture that you want. This product does take a while to dry, so you have lots of time if you want to, make teeth marks in it or carve into it or put, just whatever your imagination inspires you to do. You can do that there. Then, don't want anything dangling down in the middle there. Let's get that cleaned up, clean up the edges so that it looks like a Gingerbread Man cookie. I sped up the video, but you can tell it takes a little while just to get that nice even texture that you want, but it looks really great when it dries. To me, it looks just like a cookie finish. So while the texture is still wet, you can start adding your embellishments. I love working with fake teeth. It really creeps people out for some reason. I think they're funny. So I'm just pressing those into the texture. And then I take a sharp tool. This is actually some kind of dental instrument. My husband's an orthodontist, and one time he had all these old tools, and he's like, "Hey, do you want these?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't know what I'm going to do with them." And, they end up being great for carving with. All right, these are some eyeballs that I got on a Christmas clearance aisle. Or sorry, not Christmas clearance, Halloween clearance at Michael's. So I'm just sticking those on. I like having one larger one and one smaller one. This is a little skull that I had in my Halloween stash. Again, if you just stick stuff into the wet texture, it's going to dry in there, and it really stays stuck. I haven't had any issues with things falling out yet. Now I'm going to take some of the extra texture paste that I have and start making eyelids for my little guy, because I don't know, I just think it adds to the look, adds to the creepiness maybe. If he has some sort of dimension there above the eyes, helps with the expression too. So just fill that in. These are some little glow-in-the-dark ants that I've had for a while. I got them at Dollar Tree. I just painted them black so that they show up a little bit more. And again, just stick them in there and they'll dry nicely and stay stuck. Now I'm using the same brown paint that I had tinted the texture with, and I'm using a sponge to just dab around the edges, because most cookies, they get that kind of crisper look around the edge. Since I had some extra snow text left, I decided to experiment with a glass ball ornament. And that one turned out really fun. Alright, so now again with the brown paint, adding some dimension, you know, just kind of darkening the area around the eyes. And then I'm going to do the same thing around the teeth and the mouth. So really I just used that one brown paint for everything. I used it to tint the snow text, then I used it, you know, to sponge around the edges, and now I'm also using it around the eyes and the mouth. Just to, you know, I like the way it creates some shadows. You know, you can imagine if he was baked in the oven, some of those thinner areas would have gotten a little bit browner, and it just kind of helps add to his expression. I like to tell kids that he ate too much candy, and this is what happens when you eat too much candy. I'm filling in the area that I had carved earlier, the kind of creepy mouth smile, and then I'm also going to paint that same brown onto the teeth. I like to put more on the ends and near where the gums would be, and then leave it lighter in the middle so it looks like he kind of has creepy stained teeth. It helps to, you know, flip it around, look at it from the other angle, look at it from different directions to see what you're missing, where you need to add some more color. Now I'm going to use gallery glass. It's a product that you usually use to make like faux stained glass, but I love the way that it dries because to me it looks like gel icing. So that's exactly what I'm using it for, to just add some little icing elements around the arms and the feet. It'll be much clearer and much more glassy looking when it dries, and it's just perfect for this project. So once everything is dry, to finish off the back, I trace my Gingerdead Man on a piece of felt, and it's kind of a tan color. I'm going to hot glue a loop to the top, so this way it's easy to hang him from my tree. And then glue that cut piece of felt on top so that, you know, you don't see that unfinished cardboard back. You know, if it's hanging on a tree, nobody's probably going to see it, but I always try to finish off the back of my projects so they look a little more complete. And once that's done, I'll be ready to hang my creepy little dude on my tree. Have fun crafting and creating creepy stuff.